Enterprise Stories is the weekly radio program that shares the experiences of successful Nigerian entrepreneurs and provides expert analysis of their success factors. Enterprise Stories, business stories of success.
Agriculture, passion, from 2 staff to 62 staff, and the 41st fastest growing business in Nigeria. In this episode of Enterprise Stories, we will be connecting all of this. Welcome to Enterprise Stories. My name is Olawale Anifooshe. Stay tuned. We will be right back for our teaching segment after this message from our sponsors.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
Good day, listeners. My name is Mokwe Abudu, and I am today's faculty for today's Enterprise Stories. Today we're going to be talking about how to execute your business strategy. Business strategy is a word that is sometimes very loosely used. A lot of planning goes into it, a lot of thought processes, a lot of visionary aspirations. But what we find is that the execution of that well thought out plan is sometimes very faulty, and it could be the difference between success and failure. Execution is a skill which can be learnt. It's normally what will propel you beyond just having a very good plan and a workable plan. Like any activity, your perfect plan still stands a chance of failure if not properly executed. Therefore, pains must be taken to break down your business plan and strategy into specific components, and then each and every one of these components executed right up to the minute parts. Business execution starts with a mindset of positive achievement and a can-do spirit. This is also complemented with the right skill force and the right environment. The elements that drive all the parties within the business is their communal goal and objective. But there are, however, some principles that will determine how well your business strategy is executed, and we're going to take some of them. Focus. Focus is extremely important, and this is primarily targeted at the business executives, because they represent the leaders, they represent the visionaries, and they must be able to instill that focus into the way they approach their work. Keeping your eye on the plan means not being influenced and not being distracted by all other compelling or interesting opportunities which definitely will arise. The focus will lead to consistency and perfection. Executing your business strategy also means that you continuously learn, and that focus is the only way you're able to dot your I's and cross your T's. Great plans normally have hidden flaws, but the more you practice at achieving them and take on board the learning points, the more you're able to perfect your execution. The second discipline in terms of executing your business strategy is leverage. As the business grows, it creates a great business network, but your ability to be able to execute audacious plans remains how well you're able to utilize and leverage on your network. What we also find is that the networks are both within and outside of the business, and it is a drive towards a purposeful execution experience. Your leverage is also an indication of the value that you and your business represent to those networks and how amenable they'll be able to support you in your quest to achieve a plan. A very good network who actually believes and actually values what your business impact is to them will go at all lengths to jointly pursue your business strategy and be innovative in its execution manner. The third discipline is engagement. Again, the business leaders have a very important role to play here. A business leader must actually be a leader. A leader is where someone is in front and you do have followership. Your followership are those who are there who have keyed into your vision, and based on your communicating abilities, they're able to pursue the strategy with all passion. Leadership gives confidence and it gives direction to those who are supporting whatever strategy is being executed. Last but not least is accountability. Again, most businesses need to pay very good importance to this particular discipline. There must be a report card of some sort, and this must be communicated. Execution is highly influenced by the knowledge and awareness of accountability. All participants in an execution process are normally galvanized into achieving their objectives if it is known that their abilities will be recorded and communicated. It also propels members of the business to ensure that they are seen to be part of the collective objective. These 4 points are extremely important, and if you are going to be that business that really executes its strategy, not plain lip service to all the great plans, you must be able to instill these 4 main and very important areas of discipline: focus, leverage, engagement, and accountability. Being able to execute your strategy is something most business leaders must learn. You must be able to execute the strategy, learn from your mistakes, and be able to propel into action all your learning points. Execution is what makes the difference between success and failure.
My brother, you see, for this our import and export business, not be who go China pass 9 be the issue. Now who you dey follow talk 9 matter, Who you dey follow talk as how? The expert then we sabi the business of import and export in total. People like Stanbic IBTC Bank.
Stanbic IBTC? Nah, person name be that.
Stanbic IBTC Bank na my bank, and then sabi my business well.
Announcing the arrival of Flight 220 from China.
Doing business in China? Come, let's talk about how our expertise and understanding of the import and export business will help you grow and trade smarter. With Stanbic IBTC Bank, you have access to import and export trade finance, letters of credit, telegraphic transfer, bills for collection, and other well-tailored trade advice that moves you forward. For more information, visit www.stanbicibtc.com or call our number 0700 2255 782 6242. Stanbic IBTC, moving forward.
Welcome back, listeners, to Enterprise Stories. In the studio with us today is Mr. Adetoyin Olabode, the CEO of High Nutrients International Limited. You're welcome to Enterprise Stories.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Okay, we're going to dive straight into the story. Your business being the 41st fastest growing company in Nigeria by All World Network USA and Tony Elumelu Foundation. How did it all start?
Thank you. I'm an agriculturist, and I'm trained as a livestock animal scientist. My first degree was from a University of Ilorin, and I had my second degree at University of Ibadan, where I had a PhD grade in animal nutrition and biochemistry. Right in the class there, I've always seen that the fear when people will graduate looking for a job. I told a friend, I said, I don't want to look for a job by the time I finish. I say I have it in mind that I want to be employing people. He say, oh boy, you are cracking joke. I say, no, I mean it. That I want to be employer of labor. That it is what you want that you focus your attention on. And until you achieve it, you don't rest on your oars. So with this that I have in mind, right back in the University of Ibadan, I know that I will be one day an entrepreneur, an employer of labor, and which we have done in the last 9 years now. High Nutrient International Limited, from 2 staff, now we are 62 in number as of today.
Okay.
So the story goes thus. Immediately after my master degree, I said, even if I want to practice a livestock farming or any area of business, I need to be tutored. The best way to do it. And what is the best way to do it is to serve people. When you serve people, just like an apprentice, you will learn more. Then from there, you can develop yourself. And that is why I pick an employment with Olubisi Farm. The farm is still at Ikorodu. That was far back immediately after my youth service. I did my youth service at Ministry of Agriculture at Calabar. And you can see from there, I start picking interest in practical agriculture farming. From there, I spent about a year. From there, I joined Ola Farms and Trading Company in Ikotun, Lagos, as far back in 1995. And from there, I started seeing sales reps selling nutritional products. I like the way they dress. So from there, I look at it, I said, why are people saying that agriculture is a dirty business? Look at these people. I interviewed them. Some read animal science, veterinary science. I said, okay, it shows that I'm on course. But basically, why I went to that area of picking appointment is to be able to know the rudimentary of the practical aspect. At least for over 6-7 years in the university, I've learned the theory. Now, it's time for practical. But don't forget that where I'm going to is to be on my own. And to be on my own, I need to learn this just like an apprentice. And that is my own time. Of course, respect beget respect. My boss there, I even knew more than him, but at least I have to serve under him if I must know more. And that is one of the vessels that an entrepreneur must have, humility. Briefly, I pick an appointment with Bioorganic Nutrient System Limited, another nutritional company. There I rose from a sales rep to assistant head of marketing there, and that took me like 8 years. But before then, there's a passion. I came to Lagos Business School for senior management program. I belong to the SMP 19. That was in October 2003. From there, I've been fired on. Later, I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki, and this fired me on how you can be on your own. And another book from FBS Series 2, The Pains and Gains of Growth. I read this book also by Professor Alos and Engineer Bamiro, the former VC of University of Ibadan. So which means as an entrepreneur, you need to read and read and read, combined with theory, combined with practical. So following all these steps, all together with the years of experience, this gave birth to High Nutrient International Limited.
Fantastic. I have a scholar in the house today. This is very interesting. Now, this combination of experiences and exposure to these books helped you to be put together to be able to start High Nutrients International Limited. Now, for the benefit of those that are just joining us, we are on Enterprise Stories, and in the house with us today is Mr. Adetoyin Olabode, the CEO of High Nutrients International Limited, and he's been sharing with us how it all started with this business. Now, for those that are listening, can you share with us a bit, what do you do at High Nutrients? What's it all about? And how has this business been able to basically reach where it is today without you having to go to anyone for money?
High Nutrient International Limited is a business of food and livestock. So which means whatever product coming out from there is needed by animals and of course for human being. And population of Nigeria will continue to be growing. So which means people will continue to eat animal protein. So this product right from day one was generating enough at my own capacity then to sustain me. So that is how we were able to start without approaching any bank. So the product sells for itself.
Okay. Did you at any point when you needed to expand have to go and engage any financial institution? And what was it that you got out of that expansion?
Thank you. The raw materials I used are imported related because we don't manufacture the single vitamins and minerals in Nigeria. So I have to rely on a manufacturer from Europe to bring in the raw materials. And as a result of this, from the increased order, because customers now believe in me, because over time, some that have given us a trial order, they see that, wow, this is a high quality product, even at a highly competitive price. Let's give him a chance. At least we've tested him before and we believe that he can do more. This is a support from customer, because when customers see that you are very loyal, you are trustworthy, you have integrity, you do your own with an open mind, they are going to support you. The way they support me is when they buy product, they pay me on the spot. I can plow back the money into the business. So this has really helped me. But for the expansion, we begin to get orders from company. I don't want to be mentioning companies here, but because of the large order, we have to approach banks and they look at where we are coming from. But what surprised me is that for the first time they rely on some of the LPO I'm getting, and nobody is asking me for collateral, because some of these companies that gave me the LPO, they were very surprised that your company is a year, 2 years old, and company like this can be patronizing you. Then it shows that it's a good business. So I got my first 20 million from bank, and we use it to import. And because having our own raw material ourselves without buying from a third party will give us higher margins, yes. And from there they begin to help us until when banks say all naira and kobo must be collateral, and this is where the kind of growth that we were expect, I would say, temporarily stopped. But at least with a little bit of keep on focusing and not giving up, we were able to get support from even still some of our customers that say, oh, look, I'm giving a high nutrient, this so amount of $1 million of business. Don't worry, I'll pay him under 1 month if he can deliver. With that serves as a guarantee for us. So some of our customers are even now guaranteeing us in getting money. But for the serious expansion, we have to now start approaching people, talking to people. People see the pedigree. Oh, this guy, finished from UI, has gone to Lagos Business School. Some say, oh, I like that school. Whoever that has passed through Enterprise Development Center, Lagos Business School, they must have element of trust. So some people trust us with their money. But finally, we have to, at least with what corporate affairs said, that you have to have your board and with the training with a head. So I started inviting 1 or 2 people that I know that are very relevant in the business, which they are using my product. I approach them, I say, look, I need this, I need that. Fortunately, one of them was able to put down it's a CFO for me and say, look, let me try you for 2 years. Let me see what you can do. Then from there, I can buy some certain. I say, and we didn't disappoint the person until when he say, okay, let me pick 30% of your company at this also amount.
Well done. If you're just joining us on Enterprise Stories, you've been listening to Adetoyin Olabode, and he's been sharing with us some serious in-depth information about how his business started and some of the things that he has done to be sustainable. I'm very happy to hear all of this. But you know, with expansion comes a number of things, from 2 staff to 62 people. With the combination of partnership that you brought into, you built a board. What are some of the challenges that came with this, and how were you able to overcome them?
Just for an entrepreneur, the issue of finance will be there. But just I used to tell some of my friends that, how did I weather the storm? I said, for you to weather the storm, to remain in business, I say your character is the one that will sustain you. I think that has helped High Nutrient. Because whoever that we approach, or whoever that has heard about us, they will say, oh, you can trust the company. Oh, you can trust their product. So which means our product sells for us, our character sells for us. So if you have anything to do with High Nutrient, at least it will be a story that you can trust. For the issue of where we are able to surmount the challenges, of course, the problem of staff were there, personnel recruitment. But don't forget, I said I've gone through EDC, Lagos Business School. That has helped me at least to be able to be managers of men and carry them along. And we don't look at ourselves as this is MD, this is GM. We operate a parallel system where everybody, you have access to MD, I have access to, so nobody carry this thing that you can't see MD. So feel free, if you are even the least production staff, you can march into the MD's office and say, this is what I think we can do it. So we are operating a teamwork approach. And for the issue of finance, I told you, first thing is we consult a board, and from the board, they were helping us, though we couldn't mop up the kind of the finance we want, but at least we have to invite 1 or 2 banks and say, look, this is what we have been able to have done in the last 5 years without bank. Now this is where we are going, and these are the type of business we have now. So where can you come in? And of course, that is how you need to bring people into your business too. Don't think people are going to take away your business. they are going to help you, because to go home with a tire of a cow is better than to go home with a cock, because they are different. If you go home with a cock, that is a whole meat, but what is the percentage of the meat of a cock to a tire of a cow that have sheared? And that is the principle that I want every entrepreneur to go with.
Okay, Mr. Olabode, you've heard it from him. Listeners, would you rather go home with the thigh of a cow or with a cock? It is your decision. Mr. Olabode, in rounding up, can you share with our listening audience one thing, one message that they can go with, especially those that are interested in venturing in agribusiness?
They should take agribusiness as a business. Stay focused. Be what you want to be. And that is what has led High Nutrient for us to have successfully completed our new ultramodern factory that cost us over 100 million naira that we have built without a bank loan. And you can start your business at any age. We started very early, and I'm still in the early 40s. So very soon we invite other entrepreneurs to come and commission the new ultramodern factory for us. This is to reposition us the more for us to be able to capture more market in our niche.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olabode, for sharing your story with us today on Enterprise Stories. You have said a lot, and even I am inspired to venture into the agri business. Listeners, you've heard it from Mr. Olabode. If you want to venture into the agri business, take it seriously, believe in yourself, and the sky is the limit. We'll be right back after the short break.
When you are successful in your small business, as I am, people will always come to you. They want to know what you're doing differently, who your bankers are, and what kind of deals you are getting from them. Well, I'm happy to enjoy all the benefits of the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. My profit is up. But why? Because I get zero COT, unlimited turnover, no limit on check lodgement or withdrawals, free internet and telephone banking, as well as discount on training courses for small business owners. With special benefits like that on the SME Zero COT account from Stanbic IBTC Bank. Now, there is no reason why your business won't boom just like mine.
Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
You're tuned in to Enterprise Stories, brought to you by Stanbic IBTC and Enterprise Development Center of the Pan Atlantic University.
Welcome back. We've just heard the story of High Nutrients today in our Story of the Day segment. Victor, what's your take?
Thank you, Wale. Nice one from Mr. Adetoyin, and for me, quite an inspiring story. And if I will summarize this, I'll take the 3 C's I always share with entrepreneurs, SMEs, and growing businesses. He demonstrated the ability to understand the importance of the 3 C's, and he used it to take his business to the next level. What are these 3 C's? It's competence, capacity, and character. Those are key ingredients that guarantees the growth of any entrepreneur from a startup to become a growing business owner. And what were the things that he demonstrated? The first thing was competence. He learned the importance of going to serve. Most entrepreneurs today lack the technical skill and the expertise to be able to deliver on what they promise. And in the long run, they end up being frustrated. In the long run, they end up fizzling out. In the long run, they see that the journey takes longer than they ought to. You must develop competence. There is no way around it. These things must be acquired. If it means you going to learn, take a job. It doesn't stop you from being an entrepreneur. It's not something you become overnight. There are skills and capacities and competences you need to develop. So he went to serve. He got a job. What was even remarkable was when he said he had to go to a place to learn where he felt he even knew more than the MD. However, there were things he was learning there. He was learning how to run a company, how to structure a company. At times I tell people, I said, even in my office, I need to teach people how to write emails, because people coming out from schools these days do not even know how to structure a proper formal email. The way they chat on BB is the way they want to write an email to their bosses. So yes, you need to go to an organization where you learn to develop your competence. And once you develop competence, the next thing is you begin to develop capacity, which is the second C. Capacity is crucial for you to be able to keep your brand promise. I've said over and over before in different sessions to say one of the things an organization must develop is to develop a strong brand. Whether you're in a service industry or a product industry, you must have a strong brand. A brand is your promise to your potential consumers or your potential customers or clients. It's your promise. And your ability to keep that promise is your ability to convey what your brand is about in essence. And your ability to keep that promise consistently builds what we call the brand power, which is your brand equity. And therefore, you are now able to leverage that to do a lot. So in growing capacity, he understood the fact that he had to consistently deliver on what he promised. And he had to grow his capacity in terms of the number of people. He had to grow his capacity in terms of number of funding. Even when it got so tough, he had understood the importance of using that his brand, which is keeping his promise, to attract the right board that could support him to take his business to the next level. If you do not have a strong brand that people can relate with, which is your ability to make sure your product is consistently delivering what it promises, then you're going to have challenges. You're buying a burger of McDonald's, like they say, anywhere in the world, it tastes the same way. You take a bottle of Coke anywhere in the world, it's the same Coke refreshing promise. You do not expect to open one in China or one in Vietnam and they are giving you different tastes. That is the essence of keeping a brand promise. So when we encounter any of your people or your product or your service, it should be consistent, whether it's in the Ikorodu market or Agege market or Sangwater. He was able to ensure that he kept his promise to the people that were patronizing him in terms of customer service, in terms of client satisfaction, in terms of product delivery. There is no shortcut for this for an entrepreneur who wants to grow a business long term. You must keep your promise, and this comes by consistently growing capacity. Not making your first millions and bring frivolous and dancing to the gallery. You need to plow back into the business and grow capacity. Finally, he was able to leverage his capacity and of course grow competence, grow capacity, and the final one is, of course, we're talking about character. And you can see the issue of character, that character was what finally sustained him. If you do not have the character, then even when the capacity comes, you find that there are flaws. Character flaws begin to manifest. In actual fact, character flaws manifest the more as growth comes, as promotions come, as increases come, character flaws come. And once we have character issues, it rubs off negatively on the brand, because for growing businesses, it's always difficult initially to separate you from the business or what you're offering. So your character must be the same, which is who you are, whether people are watching or not. Whether a client sees it or not, do you try to compromise or cheat in some other things? I mean, these are things that rubs off on your brand promise and will affect you in the long run. So he understood the importance of character, and when he was asked his challenges, he understood the fact that he had to stay true to who he was and to his people, which is a fundamental part of what we talk about when we're talking about character. Finally, he leveraged mentors. Mentors help you to fuse these three required ingredients to be a successful entrepreneur. Mentors will teach you how to be able to fuse competence with capacity and, of course, finally with character. Having all these three ingredients in the right proportions as you grow our organization guarantees that you will definitely get to the top. Wishing you all the best as you try to grow our businesses.
Thank you, Victor, for that clear-cut analysis. Listeners, we've come to the end of Enterprise Stories today. If you've missed this week's episode, not to worry. Just log on to edc.edu.ng and you can download this week's episode and other episodes. Until next week, when we'll bring another exciting episode your way, stay enterprising. Join Enterprise Development Center of the Pan-Atlantic University, formerly known as the Pan-African University, as we celebrate 10 years of entrepreneurship development in Nigeria. For questions and comments, please email edc@pau.edu.ng or log on to Enterprise Stories on nigeria.smatoolkit.org for useful resources and articles to help grow your business.